ma'am, can we start or should we wait for some more time?
Yes, ma'am. Shall we start, ma'am?
Yeah, sure. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Start with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. I'm starting.
So he
Yeah.
will just give a brief introduction of yours, then you can start.
Sure.
A very warm good afternoon to all our participants present here, and especially our guest for today, Ms. Anupama Joshi, ma'am. Ma'am, we welcome you on behalf of the SAGE Group and SIRT Pharmacy to this AICTE sponsored short-term training program. Once again, welcome you, ma'am. Before proceeding forward, I would like to introduce our participants with Anupama, ma'am. Anupama, ma'am, is currently an intellectual property consultant from Munich, Germany, where she provides legal advice, information, and documentation, provide client interest and intellectual property. She is also a patent engineer at Maywald Patent Walls, Munich, Germany, where she draft, fill, and prosecute patent applications. Ma'am has also served as an intellectual property assistant at Munich, Germany. She has also worked as a legal intern from Sandoz Pharmaceuticals, GmbH, Munich, Germany, where she has researched patent laws and their legal implications for 8 jurisdictions. Ma'am has also served as an assistant manager at Inventia Healthcare Private Limited, Mumbai, India, where she prepared freedom to operate and non-infringement of opinions as in-house patent counsel, handled prosecution work for India. Ma'am has also worked at in-house patent counsel, Panic Biotech Limited, Mumbai, India. She has also drafted, filled, and prosecuted at India, US, and Europe various patent applications. Ma'am has pursued his LLM program in intellectual property and competition law from Munich Intellectual Property Law Center, MIP-LC, Munich, Germany. And many more to tell about you, ma'am. A long list we have. With this, I would like to invite you to please proceed with your lecture, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Vicky.
Welcome,
First of all, I would like to thank the SAGE Group, the chairman, and the board of directors, Dr. Suren Jain, everybody to having me back, giving me an opportunity again to speak with all of you and to be part of this amazing training. And I am really impressed and appreciate you guys to have this topic on the forum. So generally a pharmacy college would have trainings about, I don't know, pharmacy, jobs, and all these things, but to have something which is a very important aspect that we all should know about human ethics, human values, it's an amazing initiative and kudos to you guys for that. So as you see in my CV, like Vicky has explained, everything is all about intellectual property, patents, management stuff. But what I'm going to talk about today is what I have learned from this experience, my journey from India to here, and what role our culture has played. What me being who I am today is because of the things that I've learned, not just professionally, but also personally. And I had been very lucky to have amazing mentors in my life. And I think human ethics and values make us who we are. So let's just begin with something like, what are ethics? Like what is ethical and what is non-ethical? We have read it so many times. We have seen it in TV and everywhere. But what are ethics actually? So for me, when I look into it, I think the judgment that we have when we have a situation where we have to decide between right and wrong, and the decision we take depends on our ethics. And how do we learn ethics? Like I said, we don't have any courses in school or colleges. I mean, I remember having moral science as a subject when we were like in school. Naitik Shiksha, I remember, right? After that, I don't think we were ever told about or taught about anything respect to ethics or human values, which is really unfortunate, because once you are like in your 30s, then you realize that it's very important. I mean, your professional success, your knowledge, your education is of course very important, but who you are as a person makes you and defines you. And we don't have any courses, at least in India, for the time being. So it's an amazing initiative that you're having this training, especially using this time of crisis to empower students, because this is empowering. And we have trainings for everything else. but we don't have training for something like that, which is our core value. So like I said, it is like when you are in a situation where you have to decide between right and wrong, then your ethics come into play. Now, and lack of ethics can have a very serious implication, not just in your daily life, also in business. I'm talking about in innovation. And recently, even in Munich, there's this European Patent Office. They have a program which is about ethical approach to innovation. So what it is about, I'll just give you a little glimpse, and I'm just talking about it because I just want to let you know the importance of this topic in the global era as well. So when we are patenting something, we look into the aspect of the novelty and the inventive stuff and stuff like that, but then comes the role of ethics also in innovation. So when you're innovating something, how ethically have you reached to this invention plays an important role as well. So, and your ethics are defined by your personal belief system, your programming, what you see as children. So programming, when I say programming, it's not like, computer programming, it's the programming that we get as children. They say, there has been a lot of research, they say that children from 0 to 7 years of age are programmed because they lack consciousness. So how we learn what we learn as children, how to eat, how to do other things, we see our elders, we see them doing things, how they do, and we just kind of take it with us and we learn it. What we learn as children, what we see becomes our value system, becomes our subconscious program, and we function and that becomes our belief system. And we function with that belief system for, I don't know, unless we decide to break it. So it's not just about your beliefs, it's also about your intuition, the role your intuition plays. So for example, you are all, maybe most of you are pharmacy students. You have an opportunity, you have an exam, suppose, and there's an option to cheat in your exam. What you do at that moment is like coming out of your ethics. You cheat or don't cheat is decided by you. So what you do at that moment is your ethic. Like you are taking the judgment based on what you have learned in life, how important it is for you, the right and the wrong. You know what right is, but to have the courage to follow that right at that moment, that is your ethic. And what is the role of yoga and meditation? So, it is like a package. You cannot separate all these things because we human beings are complex individuals. We are not just like, okay, this is right, this is wrong. It depends. There are lots of shades of rights and wrong. And it depends on how you see things, how you learn things, how you grew up, where you grew up, how your circumstances were, what are your circumstances right now. But I think there are certain things which are absolutely black and white for me, at least. I'm talking from my perspective. And to have the courage to stand up for yourself is very important. And also, like, most of you must be parents or will be parents in future. Now, when we talk about human behavior, we talk about ethics, we talk about values, it's also like what you're teaching your children. This is what we teach our children, like directly or indirectly. They learn by seeing, but they also mimic us. They also learn a lot from us. So when you're teaching your children, you should know it first. And unfortunately, like everything else, you have to, if you want to be a pharmacist, you need to have a degree. If you want to be, I don't know, doctor, engineer, you have proper training for that. But for being a parent, unfortunately, there's no training. You just, like in 9 months, you're parents, and then you are with a new fresh child and you don't know what to do with that. Or if you like, you only do what has been done to you before, like what your parents did to you. Or if you're like a little aware that you don't want to do certain things that your parents did to you. So that's why it's very important to have, like, to be that person who is aware of himself. And that's why yoga and meditation plays a big role, because now in the West also, people are inclined so much for yoga and meditation. Like there are so many yoga courses even here. And I have met, I don't know, maybe 20 people, sometimes in flights, sometimes in the office, who had gone to India to do proper yoga courses for years, and they had amazing experiences. So, I mean, when I was in India, I liked yoga, but I was never spiritual in a way because I never got time. You're always busy and you're young and you don't care and you're like, everything is going well, so you don't need it. But spirituality is very important, and yoga and meditation gives you a path to find yourself, I would say. So even if you're not spiritual, just being aware of your body, your mind, how it works, gives you the strength to manage anything in life, be it whatever situation, because you cannot control your outside situation. You cannot control what's happening in your college, what's happening in the society, what's happening right now in the whole world, but you can always control what is happening inside you, how you respond to it. Right now in this pandemic, I mean, we are the luckiest people. We are the lucky ones. We are sitting here right now. We are talking to each other. We are like, we have a house, a roof overhead. We are lucky in a way. There are people who have suffered huge damages, who has suffered, who has lost lives, I mean, it's really sad if you look at that, but we right here, right now, we are so lucky to have, we don't have to worry about our jobs. We have everything. And this is the time where we are kind of cut off with the outside world, of course, but then it's time to go inside because you cannot go outside. So it's time to go inside. But this is an opportunity to see who you are, what kind of relationships you have, what kind of family you have, how you can make it better. Because I believe that unless and until you are not happy, you cannot make your family happy. Being a mother, I'm talking about all the women here, because they are the building block of every family. If you cannot pour from an empty cup, if you don't have what it takes to make others happy, you cannot make them happy. And we also talk about emotions a lot. I mean, I have my daughter. She's my biggest spiritual guru, I have to say. I've learned so much from her. But I don't teach her anything, I learn from her. The way children are, they are so pure, so innocent. I don't know where we lose it with due course of time. I look at her, she looks at every emotion normally. So she's angry, she's sad, she's crying. Everything is normal for her. She's not worried about if somebody is going to be like reprimand her for being angry. And I feel that every emotion, exactly like I say, you should not label things like positive or negative as far as emotions are concerned, because this is how it is. Every one of all of us gets angry. I think some may be more, some may be less. It's all about how you manage those emotions, how you manage when you're happy, how you manage when you're sad, how you manage when you're angry. When we talk about depression is also something we like. Right now there's a lot going on about depression. People are talking, at least in India, people are talking about it, people are acknowledging it. It's not like that, oh, you're too sensitive, just grow some thick skin, you don't have to worry about these things, it's no big deal, why you're making such a big fuss about it. Now people are taking mental health also seriously. So this, whatever is happening right now in the world, it's a kind of awakening. People are becoming more aware about themselves, about people around them, and it's a good opportunity, I would say. So yoga is a way. Yoga is not just about weight loss. I know a lot of people who do, oh, I do yoga because I've lost 5 kilos because I do yoga. Yoga is not about that. Yoga is like so I'm not an yoga expert. I have done a lot of classes, but I'm not like a teacher. I have not done any teacher training courses. So I cannot teach yoga, of course, because I believe you should be at least trained in something to teach somebody else. I'm old school with that. But so yoga is like it's your mind and body complexity. Yoga deals with that. It's about your breath. It's about your I don't know, mindfulness. I have done in 2012, I would say, a Vipassana meditation course. I don't know if some of you know that. It's a meditation course. It's called mute meditation. So that's like for Western world, mute meditation. But Vipassana is like you go, there are a lot of centers in India. Mumbai is, Igatpuri is their main center. And they go with the practice of Bhagwan Buddha, Lord Buddha. So it's not about Buddhism at all. There were people from every religion. And when I registered, I was going through a low point in my life. Like it was a time when I wanted to decide what I want to do. So somebody suggested and I just wanted to try. Luckily, I got off from my boss and I just decided to go. it sounded really impossible for me to be able to, I could not imagine myself doing Vipassana 10 days, not talking to anyone. And literally it means not talking for 10 days. So it sounded really weird and I just wanted to try. And when I went there, you just realize so much about yourself, because it's just about you. You are there all alone. Somebody is teaching you something, and it's about you and your breath, and how every moment has a role, and how futile every moment is. It just changed my life for good. For good. It gave me so much of clarity. And since then I got a taste of spirituality. And after coming to Munich, I got busy with a lot of stuff and all that. But after my daughter was born, I got another opportunity, in the form of another blessing, in the form of her illness. That gave me again a lot of time to introspect and to decide what is important. Because I feel before that I was like a horse, running a race and just reaching milestones and making my parents proud, and just, being this person, have a big CV and all that. But then you realize what is actually important in life. I mean, I'm not against money. I think money is very important. It is very, very important. But then there are other things which are equally important. What is important is you, your wellness, your health, your happiness, your family, people around you, how they are. And that's why to have a spiritual practice is very important. It grounds you. So I think all of us who are sitting here right now, we all have good days, bad days. Some have like for a week, some have for months, some have like for one day. We all have that. Being human is like, this is how it is supposed to be. I think nobody on this earth has like all great days and they're always happy. It is just not possible. We are not designed that way. So Vipassana, it gives us an opportunity to just enjoy the present moment. It's called also mindfulness. So being aware of your present moment, being aware of your breath, and to realize the impermanence of everything, like how everything changes, how everything is not permanent. We read it so many times, but when you practice it in your body, and when you feel how sensations comes and how they go, and then you realize that actually we are just a machine, and things are happening to us, things are happening with us. Something happens, it comes, it goes, comes, it goes. Be it a good moment, be it a bad moment, be it a good phase, bad phase. And we label all these things, of course, because we had been taught that way. But it was a liberating experience, and I would recommend everyone. I mean, I don't know which religion you belong to, I don't know if it makes any difference, because there were people who were from every religion, and it just makes a lot of difference. So this is how I got into that. And then I also did art of living. I did inner engineering from Sadhguru. By the way, the inner engineering course from Sadhguru is right now free for pharmacists for coronavirus, and we are pharmacists, so I got it for free in Germany. So I'm sure you should look for it, and it's for free. And so just listening to these people just make you more, I don't know, grounded, and just to have that awareness that things are not permanent, it's gonna change for good or for bad, it doesn't matter. So basically it's like action and reaction. So action is like something that happens from the outside world, how you react to it, how you respond to it. Most of us, we react to it. Something happens and we just like bam, and we just are all over the place. But how you respond to it, how you process that. I mean, we all have traumas. I mean, something happened, something didn't happen the way we want to. But how we deal with that defines us in the long run, how we are going to live. So this was a little thing about Vipassana, because we are talking about meditation, of course. So right now, I would say what I do every day is like I wake up in the morning, I sit with my daughter, and we just say a prayer, like a normal prayer, connecting with the divine, and just being, just having that confidence in yourself that God is with you, and just being like, sure about it, that we are all children of God, and we can manifest what we want in our life. So the struggle part that comes, like I have seen a lot of struggle. I mean, now I won't call it a struggle, but it felt like struggle at that time. But it is just, I don't know how to explain that, because everything has a role. Like what I have suffered before has made me who I am today. So I cannot complain about that. And to have that awareness to accept your past, accept your present, and to not worry about your future is freedom, I feel. And in the end, we all are trying to achieve that. We all are trying to give our children a happy life, a healthy life. We want the best for them. But how we do that is like not by teaching them. We have to we have to do it ourselves. We have to show it to them by doing it. And that's why I feel it's just what you do in your daily life has a great impact, not just on you but also on the society also. And society makes the state makes the country, and it has a global implication. I have seen nowadays there had been going on a lot of global meditations online, of course. A lot of healings are going on to heal the world, because of course the world is suffering, everybody is suffering. This corona pandemic has caused a lot of human loss, a lot of economic loss. And yeah, it will have a lot of impact for students as well. Like tomorrow, the people who are graduating, they don't know how their future looks like because the economy is apparently not doing well. So how you manage yourself during this time when things are not going according to you plays a very important role in your long-term future. You can just lose hope. Okay, fine, I cannot do anything anymore. There's like no future for me. But just to use this time to grow personally. There's like a lot of, last time also I said, like online, there are a lot of resources available. You can learn anything. You want to learn yoga, meditation, you want to learn about pharmacy, you want to learn about intellectual property. There are so many courses. I mean, you guys are organizing such amazing courses for students. So there's like, you can use this time to grow personally, professionally, and to just develop more skill sets, human values. You never had time before, now you have the time. Use it for your advantage. Be the person you appreciate. Like you look at somebody and you're like, oh my god, he's so amazing. Be that person. If you want to be that person, then just work on yourself. And working on yourself means you have tools. Whatever, try everything. Whatever works for you, stick to that. This is what I did. I tried everything. What I felt that, okay, this is really close to my heart and I really can continue it long run, I did that. So I would recommend all of you to just try. I mean, I saw the list of speakers. A lot of them are experienced. There's a psychologist. There are a lot of people who have great source of information, who use their knowledge, learn from them, just grow, I would say. And every day when we are learning something new, I think you are all there are teachers also. Priyanka is a teacher. You all are teachers. What you teach your students, it's not so. What differentiate a good teacher and a great teacher? I would say a good teacher is somebody who can teach really well, but a great teacher is someone who still is in a learning phase, who still learns. And I think I had been really lucky. I found a lot of amazing teachers, not just in the form of professors, but also great mentors during my, when I was working in Mumbai. And I've learned, excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, I have learned such amazing things about how you define yourself, who you are as a person. And your ethics come into play in these situations where you have so for students, for example, I'm sorry, I just remembered something. One student, you want to go abroad for studying, but then there are your parents, and your parents are like, oh, why are you going so far away? You should stay with us, like. So there's a situation where you have to decide. It's a conflict. How you handle it, what you do at that time, defines you, who you are. Now, suppose you don't want to disappoint your parents, but then you also don't want to disappoint your future, and you know that your future is there. You are very sure that you're going to achieve great things when you go there. So I think we all have these crossroads in life where we have to find out, to define, to decide. And these little decisions make us who we are, where we reach in life. And I feel that your integrity, your personality, your human values, they are all an important factor in defining you, your career, your growth, and your position in society also. So I'm not talking about a good person and a bad person. I think we all are good and bad in some or the other way, or in somebody's story or in somebody's life. But how you feel about yourself, like when you look in front of the mirror, what do you see? How do you feel about yourself? Like, do you feel you're a good person? I do. I feel I'm a good person. I mean, I do sometimes little things here and there which are not good, of course, but I'm a good person. I'm a good human being. I live consciously, and conscious living is about, not about conscious living is about how you treat everything around you. So it's not just how you treat your colleagues, your friends, your family. It's also how you treat nature, how you treat the animals, how you treat little things around you, people or little people who are not strong enough to fight you, So this is called conscious living. And I think conscious living is also, it also reflects on your ethics, your values. So me, as a person, I just don't use plastic because I'm luckily in a country where I can do that. I think in India, we are, as children, where I grew up, we never used plastic. We were like very sustainable living people. My mother used to recycle everything and all that. Here, it's always about easy and fast solutions. So everything is wrapped in plastic, lots of plastic. There's like tons of it, but people are here very conscious. They try to avoid it as much as possible, and I try to do it as well. And because I do it, my daughter does it too. She knows that the plastic goes to ocean, and then it will affect the fish, it will affect the flora and fauna in the oceans and all that. She whenever she's like, we are waiting at a bus stop or somewhere, she would pick up the little pieces of plastic if they are like flying around, and she would say that, Mama, this might hurt the fishes, so let's just put it in the bin. So this is what I meant by learning from seeing. This is what children do. They learn what they see, not what you tell them. And so I think I covered a little bit about ethics, a little bit about yoga and meditation. I cannot teach you anything right now on meditation because I don't think I'm trained. So unless I'm trained in that, I cannot do that. But I think even if you don't want to do meditation, just don't do it. Sometimes it's really boring. You don't want to do it. Your mind is flying everywhere. Just sit down with yourself. Just reflect what you want, how you see yourself, what are your desires, like how you want to be in like 5 years or whatever. And I'm not talking about like 5 years plan, like what you say during interviews. Like, be honest with yourself. And honesty is a very important human value, I think, ethic. And it's hard to be honest. It's hard to be honest when there are people who don't appreciate your honesty. But still, even if it's hard, when you do it, it gives you a lot of courage, and it makes you stronger and better. So just reflect on that. Just sit down and see how you want to be and who you are. These are like questions that we never ask ourselves. I had been reading a very interesting book from Sadhguru. It's called Death. Like, this is the name of the book. It's called Death. And he talks about, like, in the book, he talks about a very funny thing. He says, okay, so you are born, but it's not sure who you're going to be. So I don't know if you're going to get a job. I don't know if you're going to get a good wife or a husband or whatever, a house. But one thing's for sure, you're going to die. Because this is the truth. Like, we are born, we are going to die. It's like, it's inevitable. We cannot avoid that. Even though the science progresses to, I don't know, space and NASA and whatever, we are going to die. This is the fact of life. What you do in between, from your birth to your death, defines you. How you are going to be, I don't know. I believe in next life. I think we Hindus believe in karma and next life and stuff like that. But so this really kind of gives you a perspective. Like, we cry about little stuff in life, like little things. Why did he behave with me like that? And why didn't I reply him immediately? How, like, these little things bother us a lot. It used to bother me a lot. Now it doesn't. Trust me. And it's only because, I'm not saying because I have grown up age-wise. That's why I'm so, like, with age comes wisdom. I think I have worked really hard to get that. I was lucky that I got that opportunity. I mean, in the form of it was a blessing, I would say, when I look back. But it just, and it makes you very efficient also. So when we are talking about these things, professionally in a long run. I'm not talking about short-term advantages. Maybe tomorrow, if you have a problem with your boss and you stand up for yourself, maybe you get fired. But I would prefer, I mean, it's really painful, of course, if you get fired, but imagine being in a situation, being in a company where the ethics and values are entirely different from what you believe in. What will it do to your soul? So I would prefer to get, to not work with a company where things are not according to how I feel about it. Rather than, I would try to find a company where people are of similar opinions, at least, similar values. And I have seen it that there are a lot of people in the world. So I think you will find somewhere someone who works or acts like you, who believes in your values at least. So yeah. And what else could we talk about today? So we talked about human values, we talked about meditation, we talked about yoga. I talk really fast, so I'm sorry if, but it's just like that there are so many thoughts coming, and this is how I speak. So I hope from the last session, you can get me, you can understand me a bit better. So wait, just a sec. I have got like some, yeah. One thing that I really want to cover is like about being humble, because this is also a very important human value, which a lot of people lack, especially successful people I'm talking about. They think that so your status doesn't define you. Like, you are not your position. I feel that. I believe in that. And being humble does not mean that you're just nice to everyone. Being humble means like you're open to everything. You're just accepting of everyone for who they are, irrespective of their background, irrespective of their culture, irrespective of their race, irrespective of their religion. There's a lot. I think you might have heard about the recent thing about Black Lives Matter, and it has been a huge, huge, huge protest, a huge awakening among the Black people, a huge awakening against racism, a mass awakening actually. And it only talks about like how white people who had kind of ruled the world in the past feels entitled. And being humble is totally opposite of being entitled. So these protests give us an idea that people are standing up for their values. They are standing up against what is wrong. They are standing up against what is unjust. And this is only possible when people are aware of themselves and they feel strong enough to fight the big, which is not easy. And I think we all have this small voice inside us, this inner voice that tells us to speak up, to stand up. But then there comes this rational mind that says, wait, what if you do that? What are the repercussions of that? And when this is where your human values, your ethics play the role. When there's a choice between right and wrong, even though the right is alone, you still stand up for that. And that defines who you are. That makes you, even if your voice shakes, speak the truth. Be honest with yourself. And these values only come by little victories. I'm not talking about tomorrow you just go out there and just fight a big firm going for oil drilling or something, or go for global warming and start your own agenda. But just small steps. And it's not just that when you speak up, you are speaking up for yourself. You give courage to other people also. So when you speak up against something, there are other people who are looking at you who are not in a better position than you, but then they look at you and they get the courage. They get the courage that, okay, if he can do it, I can do it too. So you're also being a role model. You're setting an example for people, and just showing up matters a lot. And when we talk about children, I think the generation nowadays, it's just brilliant. They are amazing kids. They are there to change the world. I believe in that. They know what they want. They know what they're doing. And to give them a happy and healthy and a safe world, I mean, we as parents, this is what we want for our kids. We need to stand up. We need to up our values game. We need to work on this together, like, all of us. And that's why these trainings that you're doing, it's so important, because the next generation, the generation of students I'm talking about, who are going to go out and work in the industry or in education or in so many departments, when they go there and with those values, they have the power to change, to bring out the change. So the last company that I was working with, I left that company and started my own practice being the IP consultant, only because of this reason, because they were working on polymers and plastics, and they were doing a lot of petroleum stuff like that. And I felt really uncomfortable because it kind of did not match with my values. Like it was totally contrary. So it was like, I practice something else at home, but then I go and work for somebody who's causing such major damage to the world. So I quit that job. And luckily, it took me a while. I was not sad about it. I was happy with this whole decision because it was a conscious decision. But then I found something much better, much bigger, and much peaceful. It gave me a lot of satisfaction. So yeah, I mean, I would say that it sounds very cliche when I say that Bhagwan ke ghar der hai andher nahi, but this is the truth. Like when you wait for the right thing, and when you know that from your heart you're doing the right thing, it happens for you. You manifest it. I don't know if you all know about this law of manifestation, where you desire and you put your thoughts out there, you send it to the universe, and universe gives it back. It works. I mean, I don't know how it works, but it works for sure, because if you are pure from your thoughts, and if you want something, you're not being selfish, you're not being, it is not going to harm anyone, then what choice God has. He would give it to you. It's so simple. So I think when we talk about all these aspects together, when you put them all together, it only comes down not just to an individual, but also to a group, to society as a whole. Like imagine if you are living in a big building, like big society, like how it is in India, and then you meet like 4 to 5 people, and then you just talk to them, and they just kind of feel related to you, they can understand you. Then it just, you are giving them some ideas. A lot of people don't know about these things. Maybe they are just not aware, they don't have the time. But when they see you, they look at you and they see, okay, so this is also possible. If somebody is living a life of truth and honesty and with values, he looks pretty happy, right? And then they would try to do it, and then they will get the courage to do it as well. So I think it's so important to speak up, to speak your truth, to speak your values, and to stick to your values, to just not give up when it's hard, to just focus on the beauty of life, to focus on little things, to appreciate the little things, and to focus on your breath. Because our breath is like the driving force of life. When we are born, we inhale. This is the first inhale. And when we are going to die, that would be our last exhale. So our life is actually going on this cycle of breath. And when we are more aware of our breath, when we see how it works, how it affects our body, it's all about your breath. And I think most of the meditation practices that I have done and I have heard about, they are all focused on breath. Be it Vipassana. In Vipassana, you focus on your breath. You just feel it in the beginning around this area. So you just close your eyes and you just focus on your breath, how it is going, how it is coming. If it is coming from your right nostril or your left nostril, or I cannot go into the depth of it because I'm not trained. So, but just Google it. Just try to find it. It's a 10-day course. It's I think everywhere in India, and it's an amazing course. They don't charge you anything. You can go. You can live there. If you're like really sick of your family, like really tired, you want to run away for a while, I think it's a good opportunity. Go there for 10 days in nature. Just sit there quietly, and they give you all like sattvic food and everything. It would be a very good detox experience, if nothing else. And when we talk about Sudarshan Kriya, it's from Art of Living. I think Sri Ravi Shankar, if you are aware of him, it is about also breath, how you can, control your breath or work with your breath to go through your emotions. So I think, and even inner engineering, when we talk about Sadhguru, it is also about the same thing, like, similar but different, So, and if you don't want to do anything, just sit with yourself alone in a room. Focus on your own breath, focus on your emotions, how you're feeling right now. Just checking on your body. And I don't know how much you know about trauma, but I don't know, childhood trauma affects a lot. Things that happen in your childhood, keeps on coming back to your life forever. And this is something that I know for a fact from a certified psychologist. So because trauma stays in your body, so being aware, so that's why yoga is also very important, because when you move your body, then you also take out the energy. You know, we all are energy in a way. So when anything happens, a bad thing happen in your childhood, then it gets stuck in your body, the trauma gets stuck in your body. And that's why yoga helps a lot to release those energy blocks. And you will feel the difference. Like it won't happen in one day, because who we are right now, it didn't happen in one day. It took us a long time to reach here. So gradually, if you do this practice for your, it's just for yourself. It's all about self-love, I would say. Even for mothers, for women who are doing so much for everybody else, and who are expected to do so much for everybody else, and they put themselves in, they are the last step. It is so important to do it for yourself, to just be, at peace with yourself, to be happy, to just accept things how they are, and then to change things that you cannot accept. And for that, you need to have the power, the knowledge, the technique, I would say. And that can only come from doing something. You cannot just sit and cry and hope that everything will get better. You have to work for that, like everything else. You cannot sit at home and expect a job come to you. You have to work for that. You have to apply, you have to do, you have to send CVs, you have to find contacts. It's the same with this part as well. You have to do the work. And luckily, we have so much of resources in India. You can do any yoga course. In Rishikesh, there are so many yoga teacher training courses also. I know a lot of people here who are Germans, but they are running yoga courses for a living. So they have like their proper studio, and they do hut yoga. They know more yoga forms than me, even though I come from India, because they have learned it with time, and they are doing it. So you can do it to earn your living as well. And yeah, just be who you are. Just first of all, it's important to find out who you are, then be that person. Because you had been, it sounds very like spiritual and philosophical, but it is the fact that we all are sent here with our own gifts. The problem is that we are always like in the school system, we are like, we are supposed to be in a mold, we are supposed to be like a certain way to and we just lose ourselves, our essence in that process. So I think it's time to find out who we are, what are our gifts, what are we meant to do, why are we sent here. And when you are sure personally about something, it will reflect professionally as well. So it's not just that when I talk about meditation and yoga and stuff, and you sit in a cottage in Himalayas, it's not like that. You can function so well, you can handle stress so well, you can handle pressure so well when you are one with yourself. You know who you are, like what you want, and things will work out for you exactly the way you want to. Gradually you'll be more sure about yourself, you'll be more, I don't know, happy in your space, and and healthy. Of course, health is very important. So when you feel healthy and happy, I think your whole world is like your playground. You can get what you want. And I think that's all from my side. If you have questions, if you have, because I know there are other people who are more expert in this area than me, so I would rather like to listen to them. So if you have any questions or anything, I'm here for you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for a great lecture. Now, I would like to invite if any of our participants wishes to ask any queries or doubts. You are free to post your doubts and queries in the chat box, and you can also unmute yourself and put up your doubt. Someone wants to speak up something, any feedback or any doubts and queries you want to share with us. Yeah, ma'am, one question I can see in the chat box by Mr. Samresh Balsa. Sir is saying that it was an excellent and flawless session, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
And he's also asking that please share some thoughts about subconscious mind and NLP related to yoga and meditation.
Subconscious mind. So I think I touched upon it in the beginning only, like how we are. Basically, our 98% of our life, or maybe 90%, I'm not sure about the percentage, is run by our subconscious program. So even, do you remember, like when we are driving, we can also talk, but we can drive because this is like our subconscious. So when we do something consciously, it's like when we our mind is kind of actively participating. But what is going on in our life in the background, everything is done with our subconscious mind. And that's why it is very important. That's where the belief system comes also into play. Your subconscious. So my child, from 0 to 7, I told you about like how your mind learns things from other people. It is the program, and that becomes your subconscious mind. A lot of, it's not just good things, we learn a lot of bad things also, like a little the blocks that we have even now growing up, like I don't know, I read it somewhere about the money blocks we have, about, because we always I always heard my parents saying that, oh, why do you want this, पैसे पेड़ में उगते हैं क्या, पैसे कमाना आसान होता है क्या, you know, like all these things that you learn from your parents. This is also like it gets feed in your subconscious program. And this kind of, in future, you always look at money in that way because of your this subconscious mind that is playing the role. And when you are more aware of yourself, you know what is playing how. Like if this is coming out of your subconscious, this is your subconscious reaction, or this is your response from your conscious mind. So I don't know, I know about NLP. I have got like there are a lot of regression and things that happen. I have never done that, I have no experience with that. But this is like there's something called tapping, I would say. Please research that. Tapping, it's like so tapping is all about breaking your subconscious pattern. Like you break your programs, you delete your old programs and you upgrade your system, I would say. So just Google tapping and you will get more information about that. There are a lot of online resources available about that, and it is all about getting rid of your subconscious bad programming and replacing it with a new one. I hope I answered the question. I don't know.
Thank you, ma'am. Any more questions or any doubts from any of our participants? You may please share. Yeah, sir responded that he is satisfied from the answer in the chat box. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Any more questions from any of our participants? You may also unmute yourself and put up your question.
I see one question actually here. I think
Yes,
it's also from Samarish Palroy. He wanted to ask about this program. I will send a link to Priyanka, and then Priyanka can share it with all of you, right, Priyanka? It's okay?
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
We will share. Any more doubts or queries if any of our participants is facing? You may please put up the question. Yes, ma'am. One question I can see from Ganu Praveen sir. He's asking that what is magic writing, which I have heard about it very long back, but not sure about.
Okay, so I don't know if I know the exact word magic writing because I've never heard about it, sorry. But one thing that reminds me right now, it's like I know a lot of people who do this gratitude journal, you know, like you wake up in the morning, you write about 5 things that you are grateful for. And it kind of shifts your mindset from this feeling of lack to this feeling of fulfillment. So generally we wake up and you're like, oh my God, fir uth gaye subah, fir wahi karna hai, you know. So your beginning of the day is like kind of set on a wrong note. So a lot of people do it. I don't do it because I'm like really lazy, but I put it on my phone sometimes. You can have this thing called gratitude journal. You have it like next to your bedside and you just write about this thing, like 5 things that you're grateful for and 5 things that, so when you go to bed, you do the same thing. But I don't know if it is about magic writing. I don't know that. I have also read somewhere about manifestation, where you write things that you want to have in life. It's like the future aspect, that I want to be rich, I want a BMW, or I want a big house, you know, you write those things. But I cannot comment on that because I've never tried it. So I'm sorry, I cannot help you with that.
Thank you, ma'am, for answering. One more question, ma'am, I can see some things about past life regression analysis.
Oh, Oh, yes, yes, yes. This I have recently learned about. I know in India there's this lady called Dr. Preeti Jain. She's a past life regression analyst, and I recently got one session done from somebody else. I would say I'm not a fan of it, first of all, because I feel that we don't remember our past for a reason. Like otherwise, if God would have wanted us to remember our past, he would have left something for us, to remember. But I know people, it has helped a lot of people who deal with chronic pain or who deal with a lot of conditions which are not treatable. It helped them a lot. But I don't want to have those memories when I was in a war or I was war stricken in a little village in a drought situation. I don't want those memories. I'm very happy in my life right now. And I would like to work from where I am rather than going back and, fixing something that has happened in the past. And I have also learned in life that we are where we are for a reason, and whatever has happened in our past lives has made us to reach here. And things keep on happening to us because we are meant to learn a lesson. The lesson, by lesson I mean, suppose somebody has got, like, I don't know, has this victim mentality, and they had this experience in the past also. But when you're aware about yourself, you know that you have a victim mentality. You don't need to go to your past to understand that. You know it like right now, and you can try to get rid of that mentality by working on yourself. So of course it gives you an idea about a lot of things that might have happened, might have gone wrong in your life. But this is not, I'm not a fan of it, so I won't recommend it. I believe in healing. I believe in healing energy. I know a lot of people who send healing energy to you. I have heard about Reiki. A friend of mine does it, but I never practiced it myself. So I think you should try to take a lot of healing and positivity as much as you can, rather than dwelling onto past. Like, I don't believe in dwelling onto past, even for this lifetime also. I think past is past for a reason. I won't like to bring it to my present. It has done its role. It has its own role. It has played its part in my life, and I'm right now in the present moment. So I'm more of the present moment kind of person rather than dwelling on the past and the future, because I think this is what we have. Everything is like, it's your either your memory or your imagination. Your past is actually a memory, and your future is an imagination. Like, you want your future a certain way, it's an imagination. And what you have where you can actually do something is your present moment. So why to dwell into these things rather than focusing on what you have right now? Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Any other doubts or queries from participant? Or shall we move forward? Ma'am, I think all the queries and doubts have been cleared by you very effectively. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, on behalf of the Sage Group and SIT Pharmacy, I once again thank you for accepting our invitation and joining us with this great session and delivered such a great talk about the ethics, yoga, and the meditation. You told us so many points about so many things to grow in our life and cope up with all these things. We are really grateful to you, ma'am, for such a great session. And I'm very sure that participants have also learned greatly. And as I can see in the chat, most of our participants, almost all of our participants are very satisfied with your lecture and they have really enjoyed your talk. Thank you so much, ma'am, for conducting a great talk.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for having me. And once again, I really want to appreciate you guys for this initiative and to take a step in this direction. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, I would also like to present before you a token of appreciation in the form of the certificate, ma'am.
Yeah.
Which is displayed on the screen.
Yeah.
Ma'am, please accept this for your sincere efforts.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Anupama.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Anupama, for sharing your amazing journey and sharing the valuable information with us. And thank you for your energetic session.
Thank you, Priyanka ma'am. It was really nice. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I think you guys are an awesome audience, and everybody was, yeah, perfect. So thanks a lot.
We really want you to be in the college also after this pandemic conditions. To heard you, means face to face we want to heard you. So really we want to listen you face to face. So after this pandemic conditions, after this pandemic situations, we really want to invite you in the college also.
Yeah, right now I think it's like I'm also like I cannot travel anyway. It's really crazy because it's like 14 days quarantine there, 14 days quarantine there. So I would rather prefer to be here. But I think I will come in February or March for sure to India because it's a 1
When the
year.
favorable conditions will come, when the favorable conditions will come, definitely.
I would love to. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Once again, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, ma'am.
I saw you now, Vicky. Take care, okay? Take care, all of you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Now I would like to brief our audience about our further sessions, that is tomorrow's session. Tomorrow will be day 6 for our short-term training program, and from 10 a.m. onwards sharp, Dr. Manjiri Shukla will be taking her lecture on the topic Fantasy Planet with Scribbler Aliens, and soon after that, Dr. Himanshi Gupta will be taking her lecture on the topic Say Goodbye to Pains and Aches, Align Your Spine. We hope that tomorrow's session will also be very useful for all our participants. And just after that, from 12 p.m. onwards, we will be conducting a feedback session from the participant side. So a kind request to all the participants to please be available and kindly share your feedback with all of us so that we could improve for our further sessions.
विक्की आप म्यूट हो यू आर म्यूट
Based on these points, you can prepare your feedback session. Based on these points, like your brief introduction, when you will say your feedback, which will be about 2 to 3 minutes, please start with your brief introduction and your personal achievement through the program, which may be through any 3 takeaways or any 3 key learnings which you got through this program, and what were your thoughts before the program and after attending the program, and any specific comments or suggestions you would like to give us will be highly appreciated. So it is just a glimpse which you can use to prepare, and otherwise you can use anything for your feedback, whatever you would like to share with us. We will be really happy to listen. Thank you so much. And after the feedback session, we will be carrying forward with our valedictory function, which will be led over by our patron, Engineer Sanjeev Agarwal sir, Dr. Prashant Jain sir, or Ms. Shivani Agarwal ma'am. And the chief guest for tomorrow will be Dr. Manjiri Shukla ma'am, and our guest of honor will be our own Dr. Nilesh Arya sir. So once again, I kindly request all the participants to please join us back again tomorrow. We'll be conducting 2 lectures, and after that a feedback and then a valedictory. So I am really thankful to all the participants for joining us today and being with us throughout the session and taking very useful information and very important key learnings from the today's session. Once again, thank you so much all the participants for joining us. And I would also like to thank Dr. Nilesh Arya sir. Thank you so much, sir, for today's session and also coordinating the whole day for today. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes. Bye-bye. So see you all tomorrow at sharp 10 because tomorrow will be a thoda busy day, है ना? So एक के बाद एक 2 session and feedback. So please join at sharp 9:50 a.m. So bye-bye all. See you tomorrow.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you all the participants for joining. Thank you so much. Have a good day.